Yeah, I'm hoping you guys can hear me because I've got my AirPods in, but should be sound, should be sound. I don't know how much to be honest, I don't really know how much I'll talk throughout this video at all. It's mostly just going to be a case of me cracking on, filming it, raw video. I'll talk when sort of applicable, but for the most part I'm just going to crack on. That's like a nice kilo progression, I think, max reps, but I have to double check now. Start off with a pull down, then we'll start with the push and shit. +3. Yes, guys, so again, hoping you can hear me, because I know there is a very high chance that you may not be able to hear me. But anyway, Cybex Smith is taken. Now, unfortunately, it is quite a recurring issue that Cybex Smith is taken. Now, there are two Smith machines here, however, I do not like the other one. The hooks, when you're in a racket, roll way too far around, so for end foot pressing, your wrist just ends up being extremely flexed or extremely extended, and it just feels a bit bad for pressing movements. So I really like this machine. I'm going to run this instead because to be honest, I'm kind of at a point where I think I'm so nitpicky with how the Smith machine is set up, and it needs to always be perfect. It almost just causes me more stress than anything. And as much as I love Smith pressing, I think right now my main goal is to just grow a fucking big chest. I get such a good connection on this machine, so why not run it? And also on top of that, I know I usually run an incline Smith, and this is not incline, but at the same time, if we look at the actual arm path of the movement, my elbows are in a pretty flexed position. It's going to hit that upper chest to a degree. So yeah, either way, I'm going to be running this machine for a bit. Feels good. Then I'll go into the next Nautilus piece, and yeah, it's going to be fun. So I'm actually going to run this up. But yeah, ideally have a movement you can run on a sort of consistent basis, so you're not constantly tweaking and changing things. But this is the new go-to now for the main pressing movement of the session, which I'm excited. I've never really ran this machine before. Now, I don't know if it's just my body, but I always find Nautilus pieces, they feel so uneven. Like this, I feel like this side doesn't go back as far as this side. It's the same with the pec fly. I don't mind the nitro pec fly, but it never feels amazing. Like, I love the idea of like how it's pads, so you don't have to hold on to anything. But I never actually get the best connection with it. I think it's pretty good. I love it for rear delt flies, but for a pec fly, actually not my first choice. It's got to be stacked. That includes the little weight too. Yeah. As you guys saw, or may have been told off by the owner for not controlling his eccentric. Now, to be fair, you do grow a lot of it. You grow so much muscle through the eccentric, and that's why it's so important that you control it. It's actually to respect the machine, which I do get, to be fair. Just don't. And then the other owner started laughing at me because I'm pretty good friends with the. Well, I wouldn't say friends, but this feels good. I changed the seat position for the back pad. Just see how it feels. Might go back to the other one, to be fair. I think I preferred that one. It was like that. Yeah. Well, we'll try two. Let's see which one feels better. But for that felt really good. So we'll try this. See how we get along. Come on. That's pretty good eccentric control. This needs moving. Right guys, don't do what I did into a set and start moving your feet around. It's literally just because this was a bit too far back and it started like coming up. So I had to whip out the emergency brace against, I don't know if you can see it, but the hammer strength decline, the frame, also makes a very, very good footrest for the set on here. It was okay. I think that was a rep down with 1.5 or like an extra kilo and a bit added on. It wasn't an amazing set, but not every set's going to necessarily be amazing. Also, different factors going into it. Don't usually run that press before. Triceps are probably a bit more. God, hate to say it. You're all good, mate. You're all good. Hate to say it, but like obviously triceps are going to potentially be a bit more fatigued after doing a press that's pretty heavy in the short, as opposed to something that doesn't converge like a Smith press, but it doesn't make fuck all difference at the end of the day. But I'm pretty happy with that. I think also setups touch off, but either way it doesn't matter because we still had a relatively good competitive set. Let's make the next one a little bit better, because I also kind of forgot I usually dead stop these on that first rep, but that's what it is. Redemption, sure. So guys, after doing two very sort of almost short and bias exercises, or two machines that are relatively heavy in the short, moving into a bit of the opposite end of the spectrum, which makes sense considering we're deep into the workout, so third press now, or third and pretty much final press. We've got dip, which will come into in a minute, but we're going to be placing very brief pause in that sort of stretch position just to really rinse the stretch, and also it's quite heavy in that stretch position. This is very similar to the gym Leco press. If you've used that, it's just like a pin loaded version of that. It's the gym 80 decline press. Right, I'm praying you can hear me first of all, because just Siri came up on the go, so I'm not too sure if the mic's actually connected. Should be. They are on, so it should be. But either way, I pretty much concluded the majority of the stuff, and the only things I have left are preacher curl, so basically arms, the quote unquote boring stuff, but the stuff I need most, well, one of the things I need most. So got the preacher curl, pec fly, got to set on the pec fly, tricep push downs like with a bench, like seated, and the Cybex Eagle curl, which is right there. I'm not going to record the rest of the session. I might record a few bits, but for the most part, this is probably the majority of the session recorded. I just can't want to crack on. To be honest, I do as much as I love filming for YouTube. Speaking of which, tomorrow I've got an actual videographer. I've got Cam coming to video my leg day, which I'll be training here for round 2 on the Cybex hack, which I haven't used since one day. The only other time I used it was, or at least the Mark 2 hack. I've never used the Mark 1. Was one day post show, so it's a bit fucking weak. So this time, hopefully, I'll absolutely destroy that. But either way, I'm gonna do 2 sets on here before moving into the last little bits. But I will. This is not the end of the video. This is just probably the end of the majority of the training section, and then from there, I will. I'll chat to you guys in a bit. Seven, 8. Right guys, so we've got my post-workout nutrition here. So we've got 180 grams of cereal, 1 serving of Hydroflow in that bottle there, 2 crumpets for 20 grams of jam, 50 grams of pineapple, some berberine, magnesium, L-theanine and ashwagandha, and then 60 grams of whey, which is a mixture of baklava and birthday cake for some reason. So hopefully it's nice. I'll break down my meal after, but I'm a hungry boy. I'm going to eat it. Let's get it. Yes guys, we are back, and it's actually been a little while, to be fair. I ended up doing some work and having a shower, if you can tell. And yeah, it's been like probably about half hour, 40 minutes or so since the since I finished eating. Last clip was probably about an hour ago. But yeah, I wanted to do some work, to be honest, because the thing is, when I eat my post-workout, I'll watch YouTube. Then I'm back to get into messages, and then things catch up on you. And before you know it, the YouTube video isn't a priority. So yeah, either way, I ended up doing that and having a shower. But either way, we are back, and I thought I'd break down why my post-workout meal is the foods it is, why it's structured like it is, all that sort of jazz. So first of all, let's start with the reason I have Hydroflow, or a hydration product. And I'm going to say this now because I've actually got a really big announcement. And yeah, I was actually meant to say this earlier. I'm sponsored by Conteh now. By the time this comes out, like, you guys will already know, like I already would have announced it. But yeah, Conteh have signed me on, which is pretty sick. So JT10, same as my Trinity code for discount of supplements there. I actually, like, I'm just gonna plug Conteh real quick, because despite them obviously sponsoring me, I'm actually not like biased to them, in the sense that I actually really rate their products, and I've been using like a good 3-4 of their products prior to them even sponsoring me. I use Hydroflow, I use the EAA, I use cream of rice. Obviously, prior to, like, to be fair, like prior to this point, I have been using rice pudding the last push, but that's because I want something different. But I do really rate the cream of rice. I use the circulatory complete for like health. And I also use their Supreme Sleep occasionally, and there's one other product that I use. I've used their whey. Their whey is pretty good, so I'm excited to get that. I've got the salted caramel one coming, should come today or tomorrow. And yeah, no, I don't know, but either way, I really rate that product. So yeah, shout out Conteh for signing me on, because it's like, it's one thing, a lot of people get sponsored by a brand and they're like, oh yeah, I've been using this product forever. No, you haven't. You've just been sponsored by them, and then you're saying that. I actually have legitimately used Conteh products for quite some time, so I do actually rate them. So that's why it's obviously cool that I've been sponsored by them. But either way, post-workout Hydroflow to obviously rehydrate. I take Hydroflow twice on a training day. I always take it out daily when I wake up, so first thing in the morning, and then I'll take it post-workout as well. Sometimes I'll take it twice a day on rest days if it's really hot, which obviously a few weeks ago in the heat wave it was. And then I also had the supplements that were so I have berberine. So I'll take extra berberine on high days, and I'll gradually increase it more as my food gets higher. As I said earlier, my food has been bumped up, so from tomorrow I'm now to 600 carb, so big bump up there. But yeah, I take berberine with my post-workout, and I also take it with my meal 5 on high days, but I'll probably just start taking it, like doing that every day, especially now my food's getting higher, just to keep on top of all the sort of benefits that obviously come from staying within a really sort of sensitive position to food. The better you can maintain that sort of sensitivity and utilization of your food, the better you're setting yourself up for a really, really good stint of growth. So the more responsive I can stay, the more sensitive I can stay to food, the better. So yeah, got berberine. I also had ashwagandha for obviously like cortisol management. What else did I have? Magnesium. So I usually double up on magnesium. I usually take some more before I go to bed as well. And I also took, last but not least, L-theanine, which I usually take after my sessions, just to kind of reduce the effects of obviously the stimulants I take. I don't actually take that much stimulants at the moment because my food's obviously getting higher, but I'll take that as a bit of a blanket to that, and also just to help me wind down. So those are the supplements. Then actual nutrition wise, when it comes to the food side of things, so we've got pineapple. The reason I've got this is it's got enzymes in that help with digestion. Then on top of that, it's a fruit, so it's going to provide fructose, which when you have glucose and fructose from different carbohydrate sources, they can synergize to a degree, which is going to help with the uptake, going to help with digestion. Obviously that's the same sort of thing with jam. If you're getting like actually good, like relatively good quality jam that has a lot of fruit in it, as opposed to just a shit ton of added sugars. Not the case for my jam, to be honest. There is a fair bit of added sugars in the jam I was using then, but either way, and that's me being truthful, but either way, We've got fruit taste coming from the pineapple. We've got the jam, which I put on the crumpets. We've got 20 G's of that, just for obviously making the crumpets nicer, but also jam's very sugary. It's going to digest very, very fast. The crumpets, and then we've got the cereal. Today I had 180 grams of Lucky Charms, or marshmallow Macy's, whatever you want to call them. Very, very low in fat. The wheat based, I want to say, some sort of grain based, which is generally what you want. They're not rice based like Cocoa Pops or anything like that, but they digest incredibly well, and I really, really fucking like them, to be honest. Call me a kid, but they're so yummy, and they're on sale, so I copped some. But either way, I love them. I love them a lot, and I only discovered them like a year ago from my girlfriend, so that's why I'm catching up from all the missed missed experience from my childhood of not having them then. But either way, that's my post-workout meal. It's sat incredibly well. It feels like even after I ate it, like I felt like obviously I felt satiated to a degree due to the fact that it is a fair bit of volume, but like it digests so incredibly well, which is so important, especially as your food gets higher. For again, like tying in what's said earlier when it comes to being sensitive, making sure you're utilizing the food that you're digesting well. But also like on top of that, like that's how you should feel after the majority of your meals. You shouldn't really feel like lethargic. There shouldn't be noticeable stomach distension. There might be a little bit, especially if your food volume is relatively high, which is normal, or if you drink a lot of water as well, and I do that, but try and segregate it from your meals. And on top of that, I also think a lot of the time people are just a bit silly with food choices and like prioritizing sort of expenditure as well. Like I have done 11k steps already today. I'm going to go on another walk later just because it helps with digestion. Sometimes I even go on 2 just because like I love the routine. I love going for walks. And yeah, that's obviously going to help really, really with appetite and digestion. But then on top of that, like I keep my cardio as well in like relatively frequently year round. That's again going to help with keeping your appetite, digestion in a good spot, which is therefore going to help you remain more responsive for a long period of time. I think a lot of the time people jump into a gainer phase and like so quickly to pull down steps a lot or keep your cardio to an absolute minimum, but at the end of the day, I think the cons honestly do not outweigh the pros of having in higher expenditure, in my opinion. It means you can eat more food too. So if you're a foodie, and I would say I'm a bit of a foodie, like I do like my food, yeah, it's pretty beneficial. So yeah, that's that. Changes as for the 600 gram for tomorrow, obviously up to 600 grams of carbs. No difference to this today because it's high 800 carb. But for tomorrow, 600 grams of carbs, I'll probably split it 40, 40, 20. So it's obviously 100 grams of carbs going in. So I will put 40 into my pre, 40 into my post, and then 20 into my meal 1, which is like the meal I have before my pre-workout. But because I usually have it quite a while before my pre, it's generally the meal I'm hungriest after. Or if I'm not hungry, it's like I'm usually quite hungry. Like my appetite's usually actually quite high in the morning, so at least it is at the moment. So I'd rather have a bit more food there as opposed to the other 2 meals. So like my post and my meal 5, and on top of that, like because again, like I said, I go a while between those 2 meals. It makes sense to probably put a bit more food there prior to me training. I also train off 2 meals, so it saves me like putting loads of food into my pre-workout meal, which is still currently digesting really, really well. And it's just preference realistically at the end of the day. So yeah, 20 grams of extra carbs going into my pre. Non-training day fats are up to 90, which is great. I fucking hate high fats because honestly, it's just fucking bare olive oil and dark chocolate. And I love dark chocolate, but I hate olive oil, so I might have to try nut butter. I really don't like nut butters. I won't lie, I'm going to call myself out here. Half the time at the back end of my push last gaining phase, I wasn't even using olive oil. I just couldn't be asked. So my fats are actually a bit lower than they were supposed to be, which is shit from me. Like I won't lie, but that's just me being lazy. So yeah, I was actually under eating. Now, no wonder I'm fucking skinny. No wonder I have no muscle now, because I didn't have that fucking like 5 mils or 10 mils of olive oil on my chicken and rice. It's gonna be different this time around, but also like I think maybe picking sources of fats I like a bit more might be a good idea. But either way, up to 90. The current fat sources I utilise are olive oil, dark chocolate. That's pretty much it. Some from obviously oats and granola. But I might look to incorporate some avocado. I really like avocado, and it's a fat I actually enjoy, so I actually will eat it. I also have parmesan actually, that has a bit of fats in, which via like the pine nut I think in it. So yeah, there is that. Could be like really silly. And oh wait, no, that's bloody pesto I'm thinking of, pine nut. No, parmesan does have fats in. Obviously it's cheese Fucking hell, where did I get pine nuts from? But yeah, either way, I'm not on about pesto. Clearly bro is so food focused on like pesto pasta. But yeah, that's pretty much this video wrapped up, guys. Honestly, I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one. Filming a video tomorrow, big leg day going down. Obviously, Conteh sponsorship will be announced by the time this video is out. So JT10, please, if you want to support me, I'd really appreciate it. And like I said, I really do stand behind like Conteh's products, which is sick. Likewise, if you want any Trinity products, get on that as well. JT10 there. But yeah, like, subscribe, all that sort of jazz, and I will catch you guys in the next one.